Good morning all. Today I am going to take a poem, an introduction written by Kamala. Moving on to the poem, we have a short introduction about the poet. Kamala. She was known by her pen name Madhavi Kuti. It's very familiar with all of us because we know who is Kamala. She was known by Madhavi Kuti or Kamala Sureya. Was born at Punnierkula, Southern Malabar in 1934. And she is a bilingual writer. We know that bilingual. She write both in English and at the same time write in Malayalam. And about her famous collection of works, these are the one are the collection of poems. The Summer in Calcutta 1965, published in 1965, and The Descendants 1967, and All the Playhouse and Other Poems, which was published in 1973. These are the three famous poetry collection of Kamala. And the My Story, published in 1975, it's an autobiographical one, very controversial one. And this was My Story, an autobiographical work which was actually published in or written in Malayalam with the title Ende Katha. Okay. And she got many prestigious awards, and some are Eഴുത്തച്ഛൻ Puraskaram, Vaylar Award, the Asian Pen Anthology Prize, and Kerala Sahitya Academy Award, and she was also shortlisted for Nobel Prize in Literature in the year 1984. And about her poems or about her writing, she is very frank in writing her own feelings. Many of her poems are confessional in tone. You know that confessional. It's something to reveal her innermost feeling and innermost experience, whatever it is. And I think she's a very bold writer. She has a frank and openness to speak about her own feelings very boldly. And one more thing, she has open and honest treatment of female sexuality that we have find in her work, and free from any sense of guilt. She is very bold enough to speak or write what she think that is right. Okay, and the poem and introduction. Before moving on to the poem, we have some more point. The poem, which is autobiographical in tone, or which is autobiographical, written in colloquial style. There is a 2 point. What is autobiography? We know that an autobiography is a work which speaks about the writer. She here presents her own experience or her own feelings, and which was written in colloquial style. Colloquial style, we know that it is ordinary style, or which is written in a conversational tone, very free in manner. Then, moving on to the next poem. The poem presents her feeling and thoughts in a bold manner. As we have said earlier, that she openly speaks about her own feelings, and here in this poem too, she presents her feelings and thoughts in a bold manner. And one more thing about this poem and introduction, which is also known as confessional poem, which confesses her innermost feelings and emotions. Then, and she realizes her identity, and she wants every woman to raise their voice in this male-dominated society. While moving on to the poem, we feel that, or we realize that, she also understands her identity, what was her identity, and she wants many other women or other female wants to raise their voice in this patriarchal world. And at that point, we have already said that this poem is a feminist in tone. One of the theme of this poem is feminism. We have to analyze this poem in a feministic perspective. Okay, and then the last one. The poet longs for love, and it is the result of her loneliness and frustration. Because in this poem too, we have find that the poets long for love. In many of her poems, she actually crave for love. She says in another poem the old mother's house, that I'm craving for love at stranger's door. And here she also says that she has a longing for love. And this longing for love is came from, or which is the result of her loneliness and frustration. Okay, these are a mere introductory section of this poem. And please take the text and take the poem and introduction. I don't know politics, but I know the names of those in power and can repeat them like days of weeks or names of months beginning with Nehru. I'm Indian, very brown, born in Malabar. I speak 3 languages, write in 2 and dream in 1. Don't write in English, they said. English is not your mother tongue. Why not? Leave me alone. Critics, friends, visiting cousin, every one of you. Why not? Let me speak in any language I like. The language I speak becomes mine. Its distortions, its queerness, all mine. Mine alone. It is half English, half Indian. Funny perhaps, but it is honest. It is as human as I am. Don't you see? It voices my joys, my longings, my hopes, and it is useful to me as calling is to cross or roaring to the line. It is human speech, the speech of the mind that is here and not there, a mind that sees and hears is aware, not the deaf, blind speech of trees in storm or of monsoon clouds or of rain or the incoherent muttering of the blazing funeral pyre. I was struck. And later they told me I grew, for I become tall. My limbs swelled and one or two places sprouted hair, and I asked for luck, not knowing what else to ask. For he drew a youth of 16 into the bedroom and closed the door. He did not beat me, but my sad woman body felt so beaten. The weight of my breast and womb crushed me, and I shrank pitifully. This is a short section of the poem. And look at this. While reading through these lines, we feel that it's not in a poetic manner. There is no such rhyme or rhythm. It is in a conversational tone, and that's why at the introductory section we said that the poem is written in colloquial style. The very first line, I don't know politics, but I know the names of those in power and can repeat them like a days of weeks or names of months beginning with Nehru. The speaker of the poem, here Kamala does, says that by beginning her poem by proclaiming that she doesn't know what the Indian politics. She didn't know. She is not aware of the Indian politics. I don't know politics, but I know the names of those in power. But she know the names of politicians beginning with Nehru. And she openly claim that she didn't know what is politics. And I think many of the women of that time didn't know what is politics. But here she says that she know the name of politicians or political leaders beginning from Nehru. And that names are very, very clearly known. And she is by heart that all the names of the politician exactly like days of week or names of month. That was the very first line. I don't know politics, but I know the names of those in power and can repeat them like days of week or names of month beginning with Nehru. Okay, I'm an Indian, very brown, born in Malabar. Then she moved on to her own identity and she says that she's an Indian. By nationality, she was an Indian. I'm Indian, very brown. And she says that she is brown in color or dark in color. Her complexion is dark, not brown, but very brown. But she is proud in that color. I am Indian, very brown, born in Malabar. At the introduction, we said that she was born in Punjab, in southern Malabar. I speak 3 languages, write in 1. Sorry, I speak 3 languages, write in 2 and dream in 1. It's a very beautiful line. I speak 3 languages. Which are the 3 languages? There is a short question related to this poem. What are the language used by Kamala Das? I speak 3 languages. Of course, she speaks Malayalam because the Malayalam language is her mother tongue. I speak 3 languages: Malayalam, second one English, and third Hindi. Writing too is a bilingual writer. Already said at the beginning, writing both in English and Malayalam. And dream in one, the universal language. Every human being dreams in his or her own mother tongue, Malayalam. Okay, I speak 3 languages, writing 2, and dream in 1. Don't write in English, they said. English is not your mother tongue. They means a patriarchal world. A woman of that time experiences many restrictions from her own family, from her relatives, from her friends, everyone. And they said that don't write in English because English is not your mother tongue. So write in Malayalam. They advise us. Okay. Why not? Kamala has replied. Why not? Leave me alone. Critic, friends, and visiting cousin, every one of you. Please. Why should I write in English? She openly said. Why not let me speak in any language I like? She says that she has the freedom to use any language she like. Why not let me speaking in any language? The language I speak becomes mine. The language I speak becomes mine. She says that Malayalam is my mother tongue, of course. But at the same time, I like English and Hindi. So I want to write in English because I like to speak in English. Okay, it's distortions. Look, distortion means alterations. It's distortions, it's queerness or strangeness, all mine, mine alone. It's strangeness, the strangeness of the English language and the alterations of the English language or varieties, all mine. The poet says that its strangeness or its alteration or the changes of that language is mine because I use that language in my own way. Moving on to the next line. It is half English, half Indian. Funny perhaps. Look, it's half English, half Indian. She says that the language used by her, the English language used by the poet, is not British English but Indian English. It is half English, half Indian. Funny perhaps, you feel it is funny. Okay, but it is honest. It is as human as I am human. But the language used by me is not so funny. It is the sincere language because it's an honest language. It is as human as I am human. If I am a human, my language is as honest, she says. Don't you see? It voices my joys, my longings, my hopes. The language of English or my poetry, which is actually voices my joys, my sorrows, my longings, my wishes, my feelings and my emotion, everything. So that language is very honest, very sincere, and so that language is mine because that language contains my own personal feelings or myself. The language carry me. Okay, then it voices my joys, my longings, my hopes, and it is useful to me as cawing is to crows or roaring to the lion. The bird and that animal which has its own specific sound, which has its own distinct sound. The lion roars, crow cawing. Similarly, I use my own language, whether it is English or Malayalam or Hindi, no problem. She liked that language and so she wants to use that language. It is human speech. My language is my speech. Okay, and the speech of the mind that is here and not there, a mind that sees and hears and is aware. My mind use a language which convey the emotion and feeling of myself. So my language contain my feeling, and my language carry my thoughts and carry. But in a single word, we can say that the language of Kamala Das carry the Kamala Das itself. So she's dare enough to use any language that she like. Okay, and she says that not the deaf blind speech of trees in storm or monsoon clouds or the rain or the incoherent muttering of the blazing funeral pyre. She says that she uses a language which is very human, which is realistic, a life-giving language, and not the deaf blind speech of trees in storm. And trees in storm which create a distinct sound, but that is not real. So real in the sense that that is not used by a human being. Or we can also hear the monsoon cloud sound, rain sound, or incoherent muttering of the blazing funeral pyre. Incoherent means illogical sound that is came from a blazing pyre. The fire of or the funeral pyre which has some incoherent or illogical sound. That is not the sound of a human being. And so she compare her language with those incoherent or illogical sound, and she conclude that she used a language which is realistic and sincere. And okay, then moving on to speaks about her femininity. I was child, and later they told me I grew. Look, I was child, and later she doesn't feel that she was a grown-up lady, but they told me I was grown. They means because of they maybe the relatives, father, mother, grandmother, or friends, cousins, everyone. Okay, I was shy, and later they told me I grew, for I became tall. My limbs swelled, and one or two places sprouted hair. It shows that she getting puberty. And at her puberty time, they told me, maybe the patriarchal world or her or the people of her own family or friends told me that she was a grown up lady, but she didn't feel that she was so grew. Okay, she was so mature, and she still feels that she was a child. We know that she was getting married at an earlier stage. Okay, come to the point. When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask, for he drew a youth of 16 into the bedroom and closed the door. When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask, she didn't know what else to ask or what is life. She is asking for love, and her father, for he drew a youth of 16 into the bedroom and closed the door. He drew a youth of 16 into the bedroom and closed the door. She was married at the age of 16, and her husband has an age of above 30, and at an earlier stage married life, and she was not so prepared for that marriage. And she says that he did not beat me, but my sad woman body felt so beaten. He did not beat me. Their physical relationship or their sexual relationship, she is speaking about that relationship, and she feels that it was like a beaten. She's not interested in that relationship, and she says that my sad woman body felt so beaten. The weight of my breast and womb crushed me. I shrank pitifully. The weight of my breast and womb crushed me. Maybe she is speaking about her pregnancy time. She shrank pitifully, and she was not so ready to accept all those changes. Then I wore a shirt, my brother's trousers, cut my hair short and ignored my womanliness. Then she want to escape from this womanhood, or she want to take the role of a maid or a man. So she wore a shirt and my brother's trousers. She take the dresses of her brothers and wore it and cut her hair short and ignored her womanliness. Dress in sari, be girl, be wife, they said. Again they came and ordered, change this attire, dress in sari, be girl or be wife. The society, especially the patriarchal society, wants to control these women. They have a rough picture of what is man and what is woman, and separate division, gender division, and separate dress, separate behavior pattern. Everything is created. So they again order to dress in sari and like a girl or a wife, and be embroider or be cook. Yeah, they ordered the profession of women like an embroider or a cook. The patriarchal world desired the role of a woman and their duty to serve others. So be embroider or be cook, or be better, quarrel with servants. Okay, fit on. Oh, belong the cry, the categorizes. Categorizes means the others or the patriarchal world. They categorize women in like way and men in like way. So they order to change their attire and to do the household duties and quarrel with the servants. That is more apt for them. Don't sit in walls or peeping through our lace draped curtain. Don't sit in wall, because sitting on the wall is adjusted to men. Men can or boys can sit on the wall, but not girls. And they order, don't sit on walls or peeping through our lace draped curtain, and don't peep through the window or lace draped curtain. And be Amy or be Kamala, or better still be Madhavi Kuti. You take your identity as a woman. Be Amy or Kamala or be Madhavi Kuti. Don't try to put the attire of a boy, and don't try to get identity of a man. So please take the identity of a woman. Okay, thank you.